I think we might have Duckfist doing commentary as well.
Is he doing the credit warp?
We have 2 runs of Mario 3 actually. We have the credit warp coming afterwards, and Cujo's going to be doing any percent warpless.
Right, well, I'm gonna head out. So good luck to Cujo on the SMB3 Warpless run, and everybody give the runners a follow, and see y'all later.
All right, thank you, Nick J, for the commentary.
Thanks, Nick J.
See y'all later.
All right, this is Duckfist. How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Hey.
Duckfist, you're back from Mario 3. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm back. Just in time. And I see Cujo's in here and he's got the stream up, so should be ready to go in no time.
Duckfist, good to see you on commentary for this game again. I'm sure we've been here before at some point.
Yes, the life of the Mario 3 commentator. Oh, yes. But really excited to see a run by Cujo. We've had a really good Mario block so far. And he's a great player, so this will be a really good watch. We have the Warpless category coming up, so you get to see most of the game.
And we start with a time up in the first fortress in World 3. How about that?
Oh, yes. There's really not much you can do about World 3, so we'll have to hope for the best on that one. So we're just getting some technical problems worked out, but we'll have this up and running in no time.
Yep, I think we're ready to go.
Well, no, it looks Cujo wants to be on commentary as well, and he's been trying to talk to us on Skype the whole time, and we can't hear him. So we're going to try to figure that out. Usually when this happens, we have to restart the whole call. Hopefully we don't have to do that, but we're going to see. So this is going to be any percent warpless. There's a lot of categories for Mario. There's a credit warp. There's any percent warpless, 100%. And I think we were going to have warpless Small Mario originally by Classic Gamer, which is a category I didn't even know existed, but I'm very curious about it.
Yeah, sadly he was unable to make it. But yeah, Small Mario's been done. Just particularly, I think, in a couple of race categories. The first thing I remember is TJP doing a mostly 100% Small Mario only run back in like 2012, I think, at AGQ. And then there's plenty of race categories. I mean, this is such a well-known game, and there's a lot of different ways to play it. But Warpless is the primary category for competitive play, I think.
And actually, there's going to be a tournament for this coming up, I believe, after AGDQ. There'll be an SMB3 Warpless tournament. That's pretty exciting to look forward to.
Yeah, Mario 3 races have always been a really nice thing. They've been around for a while, and yeah, that'd be really cool to see a tournament. Hopefully get kind of a get-yourself speedrunning thing once again.
They still do the Mario 3 weekly, right, on SRO?
I don't know if they've been doing that one lately. I know we used to even have it nightly about a year and a half ago, and that lasted for quite a few months.
Feels like
it's been on
there's
and off.
somebody
I don't know if
racing
there's
it every time I'm
still
on
a regular one or not. Yeah, there's still plenty of races going on. Pretty active community. Cujo says, yeah, Skype is once again giving us issues, but he's saying that we might be able to go ahead and commentate without him. We'll see if we can resolve this real quick.
I don't think there's any real quick way to resolve it. But all right, we're gonna restart it. We're gonna restart the call. I believe I'm Skype host, so I'm gonna disconnect now. We'll be right back.
Hello.
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 Hello, hello.
I see Skype is still trying to call Author Blues, even though he's actually not in this Skype group.
There's like 8 people with little ringing sounds coming out of the computer right now.
Hey, Cujo, can you hear us?
It doesn't look like we can hear him. If he's talking. He is talking. Oh, we can't hear him. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to go forward without Cujo on commentary. But he can hear us, so we can taunt him. And and say bad things about him every time he messes up. And affect him psychologically. But we won't do that. We're gonna cheer him on, because he's gonna do awesome. And with that, well, we're gonna give it a second and try one other thing here. But I am excited for Mario 3.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, nice.
Is that the
Got
problem?
That was the problem. All right, Cujo in the call. How are you feeling about Mario 3?
it. I'm feeling okay, I guess.
He's feeling okay. All right.
That's a lot of enthusiasm for a speedrunner, actually.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and reset and count down from 5. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Yep, go for it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, my name is Cujo IHSV, and this is Super Mario Bros. 3.
Nice piranha plant jump, Cujo.
Congrats on making out a 1-1. Very nice.
Thanks. I was a little worried about it.
I was gonna say
That
deceptively
first
hard
jump
stage.
is always scary. So, for those of you who have been watching or playing a lot of Mario Maker with the SMB3 tile set, just forget about all that nonsense. This is the real Mario 3. It's fast, you jump really high, it's got P-speed. This is a really great speed game. This is the warpless category, so that means just no usage of the warp whistles, but you don't have to play all the stages, you just have to defeat all the castles. And there's 8 different worlds. This is a really cool stage here. The strategy is pretty interesting as you try to get P-speed and grab the leaf while maintaining P-speed. And of course, we exit at the top room. Even though we grab the warp whistle here, it's only to end the stage fast. The warp whistle won't actually be used. And kind of the defining thing of Mario 3, the new mechanic they added, the big one, I guess, is the raccoon suit. Allows you to fly. That's what a lot of people are probably familiar with when they think of Mario 3. But actually, it's pretty slow to have this item. You move pretty slow horizontally once you start to jump while having the raccoon suit. So in speedrunning, in most cases, you just get rid of it as soon as you can.
Yeah, there's a few different places where you do want to fly, but like Duckfist said, for the most part, you don't want to have a tail.
Yeah, it's really cool to see stage 1-6 here be done without riding the platforms. You can see just how far you can jump and how high you jump in this game.
You really have to know the placements of those Paracoopas there in order to do the Superman jump that was just demonstrated in order to maintain P-speed through that whole segment. So this is the time where
So
we
fighting
read
these Hammer
donations.
Brothers is oh yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have that. We have to pad the silence somehow. Each of these mandatory auto-scrollers are at the end of every world, pretty much, and they last about a minute to 2 minutes in the worst case.
Yeah,
and
if
it's
we have
just all
any
about staying
donations
alive.
to read off, now would be the time.
earlier I brought up
Motivations.
the different shirts that the Yeti had been working on. And our donation incentive for Save or Kill the Animals is still open, just a reminder. We haven't picked a game yet in which the animals will be saved or killed, but you can donate it towards it anyway.
Well, there's definitely lots of turtles going down in this game, so I go with kill, I guess.
Save the frames, kill the animals.
Very nice fire
Notice how
kill.
he's taking out
Larry.
the... Yeah, there you go. It's much faster to defeat all of the Koopa Kid bosses with firepower if you can. It takes 10 shots. And it's just faster because compared to the 3 jumps, you have to wait in between each jump before you can jump on them again. You know what the exact time is? I think it's maybe like 3 seconds faster, if done correctly. At least for this boss.
I believe
It
Larry
varies
is
on
like
some of the
2.5
bosses.
seconds faster with fire.
The boss that we all learned how to fire kill first is definitely Wendy. You're on a flat ground, and that is truly the easiest way to do that fight.
Yeah, other than those two, it's pretty hard to do fire kills on the remaining Koopa Kids, but a lot of strats have been developed, and I think we'll see Cujo going for some of this in the upcoming worlds. But from here on out, now that he's got firepower, it's pretty much the main thing that you want to keep firepower for as long as you can in the game. There's a couple of exceptions coming up, but that's kind of the general rule. It's just you have the advantage of not having super leaf, so you get to move fast, and anytime you encounter a Boom Boom or a Koopa Kid, you can take them down quickly with fireballs.
Ideally, I'm going to want to keep fire all the way from the end of World 1 to like the beginning of World 6. That doesn't always happen, but, you know, it'd be nice.
I believe you'll also ideally conclude this run with the hammer suit for Bowser.
I don't actually know how to do hammer suit strats, so I'm just going to go with the normal fire kill.
No, what was it? The World 7 stage that carried the hammer suit, like 7-8 or something like that?
Yeah, 7-8.
Yeah, 7-8. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I think Mitch does that in his PB, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mitch actually invented hammer suit strats. You save about 4.5 seconds overall, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're going for world record in this game, it's definitely a pretty big difference.
Now, you will also notice in World 2, this is a very big staking reset point because if the runner does not get a hammer, we call this early hammer, he would have to go through extra stages as he's doing right now. So now, since it's a marathon run, it's no big deal, but if he were to be going for world record, he'd have to reset every single time he doesn't get early hammer from the Hammer Brothers here. So it's kind of a bummer when it comes to SMB3 speedrunning, but you get used to it after a while.
Yeah, that's generally not even feasible, even at the top level. I guess eventually it'll be an absolute requirement. I guess some runners, just depending on how well they've gone so far, will go ahead and try it out. But it's such a low probability that you get early hammer that in most cases, yeah, it's just wouldn't even worry about it. But even if we're not worrying about early hammer here, ideally Cujo wants to skip one of these 2 Hammer Brothers. But since they have a consistent starting position every time you enter the world, and you can kind of listen to their movements and see where they're at on the map as you approach, you can kind of get the idea of which one has the hammer. You want to skip the, which one, has the hammer. You want to skip the guy with the music box if you can.
Yeah, unfortunately, these guys ended up right next to each other, so there's not really a whole lot I can do besides just kill both of them.
Yeah, and whether or not you get the music box here can kind of adjust your strategy later on as well, because the music box will come into play a bit. 2 Pyramids are a really interesting stage in my opinion. There's a lot of interesting movement. It's very, it's pretty technical as you're having to move around a lot and try and maintain speed as much as you can through these small corridors.
we adoringly call the music box Beats by Bro, by the way, as Darvian was referencing in the chat. We used to do that all the time during the nightly races when we'd get it.
So you'll hear us talking a lot about P-speed, which is like the primary interesting like speedrunning mechanic in this game. Refers to the P meter at the bottom of the screen, and it, even though like every Mario game after this one kind of includes a sort of special max speed state, in this one it's pretty unique. You don't really see it in modern Mario games much anymore, but when it fills up, you can kind of while you have maximum P speed, you will always accelerate the fastest possible. So if you like jump, if you jump and slow down or turn around in midair, the P meter will stay refilled until you land on the ground while not going at max speed for a certain amount of time. So as long as you're in the air as much as possible, you can maintain that P speed state and always accelerate really fast back up to max speed. So in levels where you're having to enter pipes or doors or turn around for whatever reason, you want to do it in the air as much as possible and try to maintain that P speed, so you just accelerate as much as you can everywhere. And I think it makes it pretty interesting for speedrunning, because you're almost always in this P speed state. You can see him swagging around a little bit, showing off how you can maintain it. And I'm kind of sad that it's not really included in future Mario games like this.
And the maintenance of that P-speed, it's super important to know your routes through the stages when you're speedrunning the game, because that'll be dependent on whether or not you keep your P-speed.
Yep, that max speed will also make your jump like way higher, enabling certain strategy.
Yeah, when you're first learning this game, there's a lot of like, oh, I lost P-speed, what do I do? And so you're kind of learning two routes through the game for a lot of stages.
Yeah, because in some stages, or probably in most stages, you only really have the opportunity to build up that speed at the very beginning. So if you lose it just by bumping into a wall or something, then you have to go slow throughout the rest of the level. Now, fortunately, all the levels are pretty short, like minus the auto-scrollers. Every level is like 15, 20 seconds long. I mean, it's pretty short, but there's so many levels in the game. It ends up being kind of a long game.
Now, excluding 3-1, because 3-1's not too bad, in the next couple stages, you're going to see some pretty technical things. 3-2, in my opinion, is one of the toughest stages to speedrun by far. We were just talking about maintenance of P-speed. 3-2 is one of those stages where it's exceedingly difficult to keep that, so look for that. And then, of course, in 3-3, if you lose your P-speed at any point, Boss Bass is right there, and it's very difficult to avoid once you lose that, so a couple things to look for.
3-2 ain't that bad.
Oh,
you can do it.
Yeah, to watch a seasoned runner do it like this. Mitch tried teaching me this one night. I'm like, no.
That was bad.
Ooh, the setup was good too. You would have had it if you landed on the donuts. So, in any case, just crossing this whole level without riding the platforms is a nightmare. These cheeps are really crazy in their hitboxes. I'm glad you made it out there with firepower, man, because just like landing on the cheeps in just like the wrong way, sometimes you don't even have control over it. You just kind of clip through them and take damage, even though it clearly looks like you should have landed on them. It can be kind of a mess.
Very nice 3-2 recovery there, Cujo. Keep it up. Okay, so that fish, Boss Bass, at the bottom of the screen, basically it doesn't matter how many power-ups you have. If that fish gets a hold of you, you're done. There's no questions asked, so it kind of adds that extra stress level onto 3-3 and 3-8 especially.
Yeah, nice 3-3. That's a really scary stage. You can die pretty quick there, just out of nowhere. It's tough to react. Keep an eye on the Hammer Brothers here on the world map. This is kind of a critical world. If one of the Hammer Brothers decides to run off to the far right, that can really mess things up. Because you'll see these bridges opening and closing every time you complete a stage or defeat a Hammer Brother. And you want to fight both Hammer Brothers and complete all the stages that you normally go through to have the bridge open at the optimal spot so you can skip past having to do, 3-7 and 3 Fortress? 3 Fortress 2, rather.
Now, speaking of that map again, notice where that Hammer Brother just landed there, Duckfist, on the corner of the map there. Oh, okay.
See again.
We're good.
Move down, we're good.
Okay.
I got a little nervous there.
I've been getting a lot of runaway Hammer Bros in World 3 lately too. I was kind of nervous.
Like, I've always wanted to try and associate like a raw probability with it, and I'd say maybe like a quarter of the time, maybe a third of the time, you get screwed on that. So that was really nice. And also keep in mind, if you die or something, it changes the Hammer Brothers locations again. So dying would throw this whole cycle off as well. And if one of the Hammer Brothers did run away, there's a chance that it's one that's holding the hammer, which is another item that you need later on in World 6, where it's pretty important to skip some more levels. So that was really nice. Looks like we got a speed run going on, folks. World 3 is looking solid.
3-8 is one of those crux levels. You have to make sure you do it properly in Warpless. That item that Cujo just used before the stage, the cloud, enables you to skip a stage. The stage that he skipped, 3-6, is a very long auto-scroller, so he has to get 3-8 right on the first try, otherwise he's forced to go through that auto-scroller and all sorts of bad things happen there. So, again, very clutch, very nice, Cujo.
And also, just dying or losing firepower or at any point in these two stages is just a nightmare, because you have to end up fighting Windy without firepower and go through World 4 without much of firepower either. And firepower really enables a lot of speed from here on out.
Also, he gets the small H jump. That's pretty cool. That means you did your route through the stage properly. That's a telltale sign. So again, saving quite a few seconds there with the small H jump. Very nice.
H jump
H
is
jump.
literally free.
Oh, that swag fireball. All right, again, this would be a good time for any donation readings, so have at it.
We have a $69 donation from XXX420 No Scope Sniper. Thank you for the donation.
Oh, also, while we're here on the airship, Duckfist, I think it would be a good idea to kind of tell them about coin ships and how that happens and how not to get them, because that's really important also in a speedrun, especially in World 5 and even in World 3 here.
Yeah, so Nintendo thought it'd be brilliant to have this mechanic where Hammer Brother will turn into a coin ship sometimes, and that just replaces the short, like, 10-second Hammer Brother stage with a long auto-scroller, like a minute-long auto-scroller. The conditions for this happening are that you have to finish a stage, or rather, do anything that triggers the movement of a Hammer Brother when your coin count is a multiple of 11, and that digit matches the tens digit of your score. So it's kind of weird. So, like, he's at 48 coins right now. I guess the next possible one would be at 55 coins if there was a 5-digit in his tens place of his score. It's really hard to kind of keep track of that. There's some things you can do to mitigate it, just like if you have the opportunity to collect coins during a level and you have like 55 or something, collect one coin so that you've got a lot of extra coins you can get before the next multiple of 11. Or like when you complete a level, you get a bunch of points. If you have an odd number on your timer, it'll add 5 to the 10th digit of your score. If you have an even number on the timer, it adds 100. So you can kind of use that to offset your score count at the last minute if you have to. So coin ships are really nasty. It's actually really hard to keep track of it. Like, you can sometimes just think about rolling up your coin count, but just sometimes the coin ships screw you. There's not much you can do.
Especially if there's like a cloud waiting at the end of the coin ship or something like that. Oof. So anyways here, this may be a world in which everybody remembers from their childhood if you played this game. This is the Land of the Giants. And there's some really interesting things going on here, especially when we get to, I want to say it's 4-4. Since all the tiles are huge, he's going to have to perform what's known as a Lakitu skip there. Now, one thing here in 4-2 that I've always wondered is, where is Wasp Bass? This is supposed to be Giant World. Shouldn't we have a giant Cheep Cheep here? Always wondered that.
Fortunately, lost firepower there, but I just wanted to say that was an awesome 4-1. Going for this really hard strategy where you actually get P-speed without having to slow down there. Firepower only. Really tight timings on those jumps to get it. And it was really impressive to see live. It saves a couple of seconds over having to turn back and land on the Koopa shell. Really cool stuff. All these stages in World 4 are or just a total nightmare. You can see some real good use of P-speed maintenance there as he enters the pipe, jumps as soon as he hits the ground, and he's instantly at P-speed. And it's like the only good opportunity you have of having it in this stage. And he blew through the whole stage with P-speed. Really cool 4-3 there. That's a tough stage.
Agreed.
4-3 is my favorite level, actually. It's the
Yeah, it's
level that
awesome.
inspired me to learn to speedrun this game.
I think that was one of the first levels I tackled too. Like, if you can, I've always thought like if you can get 4-3 down, then you could probably speedrun the whole game.
Here comes the Lakitu skip. Oh, gets it. Love it. That's the old strategy for that, isn't that?
So, jumping on the Lakitu is the first part. Oh god.
Ooh.
That was close.
Oh, okay. Nice.
When you see it.
Okay, yeah. So depending on how you, after the Lakitu skip, depending on how you jump off of the top blocks there will change the position of the second Lakitu. And you really want to jump off of that guy just to minimize the amount of time you're swimming around. So Cujo had to improvise there a little bit, and those spines are just a real pain. He's going to kind of have to make it a priority to, let's see. Ideally get firepower again, because you don't have much of an opportunity to get it in the next several stages.
Oh. Forgot to get the mushroom. That's not
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah, I was gonna
like,
say, yeah,
where's
but
the
I
other
didn't want
mushroom?
to. After the fact.
Well,
So no more opportunities for firepower, sadly. If you were Big Mario coming into Fortress 2 here, this last thing's a fire flower.
I'm trying to think where you can get the next flower from here.
It's gonna have to be in 5-5, I think.
5-7 actually.
Yeah,
Wow, yeah.
yeah, right at the beginning he can go into the block and the block will spawn a firefly. Is that really the next one? That's quite
Yeah,
a
I
distance.
mean, there's one in 5-3, but not really done in Warpless.
There's also a flower in 5-2, but it's slower to get that one than the one in 5-7.
Left two Hammer Brothers up though, so we saved time on Hammer Brothers for World 4. Can never complain about that one.
Okay. Yeah, so he still needs one more P-Wing. The Hammer Brother management of World 4 and World 5 is really confusing. It takes a long time to really get the hang of what you need to do, I think. But pretty much you want to get one P-Wing out of all the Hammer Brothers in World 4 and 5, and you're set. So one of those in World 4 had the P-Wing, but one of them also had a star, which you don't need at all. So luckily you skip both of them, and it's much more convenient to try and get the P-Wing in World 5. It's a lot easier to tell which one has it. And here we have the slowest auto-scroller. This is like 2 minutes.
It literally feels like forever in a race.
You just have to meditate, do the same thing over and over again. Don't get a little too crazy here. Messing up on auto-scrollers really sucks in this game. You gotta discipline yourself. And mess around a bit, of course.
That's actually the biggest challenge, especially in this airship, is you want to goof off, but at the same time, we all know what happens when speedrunners start to goof off in stages. And I'm not naming any names, but sometimes things happen in auto-scrollers.
Well, the key is a balance. So you goof off, but you consistently goof off. You do the same goof off every time. That way you get to mess around, and you're also focused.
You're not wrong.
Hey.
Well, it's so counterintuitive at this game. You know, the whole time you're like, I have to get P-speed, I have to get P-speed, and then you reach these lengthy airship levels, and it feels like torture half the time.
Fortunately, this is the last, like, really slow auto-scroller. The one in World 7 is also kind of slow. But this is by far the longest, so...
At least in World 7, there's stuff to do, though.
Yeah, there is more stuff to do. So we see having to jump on, Lemmy? Is that Lemmy? Or is that Iggy?
That's
I can't.
Iggy.
That's Iggy. I get Lemmy, Larry, Iggy confused all the time. They look the same to me. I don't know why. So yeah, you can you see how it's much slower to have to jump on them rather than use the fire flower. And I think it's pretty recent that a fire flower strat was incorporated for that guy.
Oh yeah, we didn't address this before. You actually don't jump to grab the wand. That's actually slower because you have to wait for Mario to drop further down the screen during that cutscene. So resist the urge to grab that wand if you're doing a speedrun of this game.
I can't believe I always forget to mention that. It's so ingrained into me now, but like as a kid, and I think like everybody else that played the game, you try to jump the wand and grab the wand in the coolest way possible. So sadly, that ain't the case.
Alright, so 5-2 is a super interesting stage. I'm gonna let Cujo do this for a second. Okay, so 5-2 is a really interesting stage. There's actually two ways to go in 5-2 to finish level. You'll want to take the upper level, even though it's really difficult to do and obtain at the beginning, but that lower level, there's just a ton of beetles throwing all sorts of ice blocks at you. It's a very dreadful thing. Never go to the bottom of 5-2, and also slower in a speedrun, of course.
Yeah, if you do fall down, you spend like 20 seconds just falling.
The fall of shame, right?
Yeah, and Cujo even went for like a slightly faster way of getting on the note block there. That's a little bit trickier to time, so glad you made it out.
Solid 4 here. Very nice, Cujo. It's really tough to do if you don't have top E speed the entire time and you don't know exactly where your route is. This fortress is disastrous.
Okay, I haven't paid attention to the Hammer Brothers, so hopefully we get the one with P-Wing and we can skip the other guy.
Fingers crossed.
I do have an extra music box, so even if the star gets in my way, I can use a music box.
Did you not music box in World 4?
No, he doesn't music box.
I did, but I got an extra one in World 2.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That's what it was. He got Beats by Bro in World 2.
So you'll still have to get the one here at the top of 5, right? I think so.
Yeah.
It's a total of 2 used so far.
So this is the tower. It's a really unique stage in Super Mario 3 because it's kind of like a fortress, but not really because there's no boom boom at the end of it. And it's mandatory. You need this to get up to the second level of World 5. Now this makes the overworld map super interesting because if you die on an airship and that airship gets away, it can move to the lower part of World 5. And that's very much sad times, especially if you die again and it moves back up to the upper part. You have to get the tower again.
And that was a solid tower too. That's one of the hardest stages to maintain P-speed throughout. And Cujo did most of it with it. That was really nice. And YOLO on 5-4 there, really good stuff. It's weird, the platforms that spin and then stop actually don't stop your movement when you land on them. But the platforms that teeter when you stand on them, it stops you right away. So as long as you're landing on just the ones that spin and then stop, you can just keep going. Going for the 5-5 P-speed with no fire flower, that's super, super tight.
Mm-hmm. But at least there were a couple mushrooms readily available in
Sure.
case he did lose it, so...
Cujo's gonna be one looking to get the easily accessible fire flower coming up in 5-7 here, and try and keep that just for a few more stages. We'll actually be changing it up a bit in World 6. Oh, the Hammer Brothers dance.
More Beats by Bro.
Now I'm finally gonna get my fire flower back.
I know you probably felt awkward without it for a while.
Yeah.
Yep, a small price to pay when you grab it. Just it speeds up this boom boom fight, and I'm sure you go for the Roy fire kill. That's a pretty simple one to do.
Not in Warpless, actually.
Not in Warpless.
It's actually kind of difficult in Warpless. You get a different pattern. And
Oh, you have the Hammer Brothers moving too.
Yeah.
Cujo, no clip? No clip? No fork clip?
I'm not entirely sure if that's marathon safe.
Exactly, I'm just giving you a hard time. It's actually possible to clip in that first room. I don't advise it, Cujo did the right thing, but I always have to give him a hard time about it.
Yeah, it saves. I think it saves like 4 to 6 seconds. I don't remember the exact figure, but it's on that order, and it just pretty much skips that entire bottom room.
Pretty much only worthwhile to go for it if the run's already dead.
Oh, nice duck jump underneath the paratrooper. That is not easy to do. And P-speed out of the pipe. Well done.
Yeah, when exiting a horizontal pipe like that, you have 1 frame to press the jump button as soon as you regain control to actually maintain P-speed, and that's like unique to horizontal pipes. Obviously, that one's in midair, but I believe that's also the same for ones that are like along the ground. But yeah, pipe jump. Well done. So coming up in World 6 is the first kind of like item spam. After collecting all of the useful items so far, they really get to be put to use in World 6, which is the longest world. It has the most levels, just tons and tons of levels, and this is where Warpless really kind of differentiates from 100%. As you skip most of it, and you start to spam all of your hammers and clouds.
Alright, do we have any more donations there? Did you check the scroller there, Duckfist?
I can't come up with another funny name on the spot, so no donations, sadly.
I got a good one. I got a $4.20 donation from One Chuck Attacks that says, "When is our rematch at a GDQ, Cujo?"
We'll see.
SMB3 money match, I can see it.
So like Duckfist alluded to earlier, there is a way to fire kill Roy, but you actually get a different pattern in Warpless than you do in other categories. And the pattern that you get in Warpless is much more difficult to execute the fire kill against. In 100%, it's like trivial to fire kill Roy. You don't even have to practice it ahead of time, but Warpless, it's really, really risky, so I just went for the jump kill there.
Yeah, and the reason why that is, you have to correct me if my details are like incorrect, but all the boss patterns can kind of be manipulated. They're based on a sort of frame timer that starts when you exit like the previous level before approaching the castle stage. So as long as you have like consistent movement from finishing the previous level and going to the castle, I think there's like an 8-frame or so window where every 8 frames it switches the actual pattern that's going to be used. But because of that, you can usually predict what the pattern is. But because in this, he has to open his menu and select the cloud, and there's Hammer Brothers in the lower part of World 5 that are moving around, that kind of throws it off, and it's not nearly as predictable.
Now this is a really scary strat here in the fortress, and as he said, as Duckfist said, Unais, you have to take, you have to damage boost twice through that segment, which is really scary because it seems like you have just enough room to do it. Hang on, let's see if he gets the star kill. Bam! The only time you can get a star kill in this too. Very nice.
Ooh, got that unique upside down question mark. I'm impressed they put that in the game just in case somebody would manage to do that, but yeah, 6-4-1 is super stressful. One of the only spots you damage boost out of firepower, and it just saves a lot of time having to walk on that platform. And Cujo was feeling out a P-speed setup there on 6-4, a really tricky P-speed stage. Like, I just had this bad habit of just constantly doing my first death in 6-4, like in every run.
Has the windmill at the end ever gotten you, Duckfist, just right in the hole at the end of the stage?
Yep, it has. Just,
classic.
Yeah, sometimes they help you and just make you go, boost you, make you a little faster. Sometimes they just spike you right into the pit.
Oh, nice despawn.
Who's just doing this, yeah, really nice setup here by causing a certain amount of lag at just the right time by picking up blocks and picking up the block at a certain time and keeping enemies on the screen at certain times, because those white blocks cause a lot of lag. You can actually despawn one or both of the munchers there. Mini white munchers? I don't know what they're called. Say it's a good name.
Nippers.
Nippers, okay.
Oh, I like that. Nippers.
They're baby munchers. Anyways, this fort, actually, this is one of the reasons why Cujo keeps his tail. He can fly underneath the stage. Hard to do, but...
Okay.
So we
That's so
managed
cool.
to skip one of the Hammer Brothers there too. That's a really nasty Hammer Brother that it's just super hard to predict which one is gonna have the cloud there. So we skipped the guy with the star that you don't need. Yeah, 642 is super scary as well. Yeah, just dying or not coming into the stage with Raccoon Suit is really nasty.
So much to talk about in World 6. Whew.
Yeah, this is a nightmare world. This is where the run gets pretty stressful. Ooh.
Just waiting here for a sec. There you go. There you go. He's at his stride. There he goes, folks. Very nice, Cujo. Nice recovery there.
H jump.
H jump and avoiding the star train. We'll take it. There you go. And there's your one up you just lost, Cujo. I found it. Okay, so 6-9, pretty straightforward. Take the P-Wing, fly over the stage, end of story. This is one stage you really don't want to go into. It's half water, half ground, and the ground part is naturally ice. You're in Ice World, so yeah, don't go in that pipe. You can actually make that jump over the wall as Mini Mario if you want to see how that's done. I believe Chuck did it at SGDQ 2015. Great trick.
Now Cujo's going to boost out of that Raccoon Suit, and I think he might be trying this little zip here. Might as well. Fortunately, didn't get it. Yeah, the bottom corner zip. There's a lot of different ways to zip in this game, but for a kind of bottom corner, I don't know how else to describe it in words, but a zip in that manner, if you try to land on a corner while crouching as Big Mario, I think those are the conditions. You can sometimes just clip through the wall and skip that elevator section and go straight to Boom Boom here. And since you don't need to be Big Mario, like if you accidentally fall into the spikes, it's not a big deal, because you actually want to be Big Mario for 7-1 particularly. And if you're Small Mario going into this castle, you could just pick up a mushroom, no problem. Something small we didn't mention, it's still a little bit relevant. So when you beat a numbered stage, you get a card, usually. And those are the cards at the bottom of the screen. If you're approaching the end of level card at full speed, when you hit it, you'll almost always get a star. So if you manage to get 3 stars, it wastes, I think it's 150 frames. As this big, obnoxious 5-up fireworks animation occurs. So generally, you'll have 2, and... Oh, you died! Oh, no, we're good. Okay. But, yeah, generally, if you have 2 stars, you want to slow down a little bit and try and get a mushroom or something to skip that whole thing.
I knew you were going to do that, because they actually tricked the GDQ into thinking that he had actually died there.
Classic.
So, was there ever a point, Duckfist, where you grabbed the power-up here just so you could tank it during this fight? I always get nervous about losing my power-up here, because as we said, it is extremely important that we have a mushroom at the end of this fight.
I don't think I ever have. I don't think, okay, actually, I don't want to jinx it.
Alright, wait for it. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I've never messed up this fight before. Never once. But I always try not to remind myself because I know one day I would mess it up. But I've always gotten away with not screwing it up. But it's super important to be Big Mario in this next stage. It's possible to do it as Raccoon Suit Mario, but it's not possible as Small Mario. We're going to execute another type of clipping into an upper corner this time. And pretty much you just need to run and jump into the corner at kind of a certain frame, moving at a certain angle, at a certain speed. It doesn't have to actually be at P speed, though. But the faster, the better. So there's a slightly different setup for the first attempt. But ideally, you can do this in as few attempts as possible in the first one.
Ooh, second try. Beautiful.
The second try? Nice. I think
That
you
was
got...
second. Oh,
Didn't
wait, might
you
have been
get second
third.
try at SGDQ?
I was second.
No, second. That's what I thought. Someone in chat.
I thought you got second try at SGDQ, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, nice. That was definitely a GDQ PB because before then it was me at like 17 tries.
Also, if you are short a P-Wing, you can also clip into the wall on 7-6. Fun fact.
7-7. 7-7. Yeah.
Well, no, 7-7 is that awkward pipe clip that nobody still
Oh,
got in
yeah,
a run.
you
I was talking to Mitch about that. I was just talking about the other wall clip is in 7-6.
Yeah, that's a nasty one.
7-7, I don't believe anybody's ever gotten in a completed run yet.
I've gotten it in some races, but never in a PB.
Isn't that always the way?
Nice job in that 7-2 there. That's always a stressful stage because you only have one shot for P speed at the beginning there to cross the big jump, which normally you're blocked by these invisible note blocks. It's kind of a puzzle, but we just jump over that with crazy fast Mario 3 speed.
All right, very nice.
Yep, looking good. And 7-4 is one of the nastiest stages. Fortunately, this is warpless and you don't have to play it. Let's use one of our clouds. It's like a 2-minute underwater auto-scroller. That's a huge nightmare.
I actually made a remix of World 7 in a Mario Maker thing and included that with auto-scrolling speed to remind people how painful it was if they'd never played it
What's
before.
wrong with you?
Plenty.
Fortunately.
Anyways, easy stage here. All he has to do, take the P-Wing, fly up in the pipe. No other enemies than Boom Boom in here. I think there's a few Potobos in the other room if you want to call that an enemy, but that's it. Very simple port.
Yep, very challenging puzzle. No problem. Here you see him dumping a lot of the P-Wings. Like Skybill said, you can clip through the wall in the stage as well, but there's not really a nice visual cue for it, and you can't build up as much speed. And since you leave the previous stage with, well, typically, you leave it with Raccoon Mario, it's harder to do as Raccoon Mario, and you can't like damage boost in the previous stage and do it as Big Mario because you need Raccoon Mario for 7-8, which is one of the few stages where Raccoon Mario is useful, just because it's such a crazy stage with its layout and how you navigate it.
No hammer, Sue Cujo? Last chance. Ah.
Oh, leave him alone. That strat's just insane.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, here we go. Avoiding the star train again, not going into the corner of that box as Duckfist was referring to earlier. There's an instance of that.
Yeah, as long as you slow down for like consistently slow down the same amount, you know you won't get a star there. So most runners can avoid any big fireworks throughout the whole game.
Now this, in my opinion, is one of the toughest ports of the game. Actually, there's a jump in the middle of this stage that should look very familiar as a throwback to a game. You guys let me know what game that is. There it is. Where does that come from? Something very similar in another game that we just saw. Duckfist, do you know?
I don't play Mario 1 or Lost Levels, so I'm assuming it's one of those.
It's Lost Levels. There's a jump in 8-4 that reminds me of that one from Lost Levels. I cringe at that jump.
Yeah, the designers of 742 were pretty cruel. I'm glad he made it through. That's that's such a stressful stage to play because if you noticed, just like there was an instance in World 3 where this happened, but you used the Jigum's Cloud to pass the first 7-9 and then did the fortress. And if the fortress is a nightmare stage, if you die, you go back before 7-9, you don't have any more clouds, and then you got to do both of the stages then. So looking in really good shape now. And the fact that you're Small Mario is no big deal. This is the only airship with 2 power-ups in it, I believe. And they're both fire flowers. So prepping you for the craziness of World 8 to finish off the game.
And don't get bored during this auto-scroller. There are a lot of critical jumps here that need to be made. And how long is this level approximately, Duckfist? Do you know? I know it's not quite World 4, but it's there.
I think it's a minute and a half, I believe. Roughly around a minute and a half. But yeah, I think it's the second longest. It's pretty long.
Actually, this one is about the same length as World 4. It's just that it doesn't move as slowly, so it seems like it's shorter.
It's a good point. This stage scrolls just a little bit quicker. And correct me if I'm wrong, we actually do get to see a faster auto-scroller in the Air Force of Bowser, or does it just feel faster? Because I'm never quite sure about the speed in that stage.
That one's definitely faster.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, when they played this game for the first time, they're just peeing over it because it seems impossible to do otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's like the known hard stage for the casual player. Like everybody who's beaten this game immediately thinks of Fast Airship World 8 being the hardest.
For me, it was always the fortress in World 7, the one that we just saw with all the piranha plants in it. That one always seemed to be the most difficult to me, casually.
I guess you can't cheese it out with a P-wing as easily.
So gotta be
Although,
careful with.
yep.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, gotta be careful with Ludwig. He has the same earthquake effect that Roy has, so it's really easy to get caught in that. So, go ahead, Duckus.
Oh, I forgot. No big deal. I should remember, though, because we do have a lot of auto-scrollers coming up. I hope you guys like auto-scrollers, because there's 4 of them in World 8. Even though World 8 is packed with auto-scrollers, the stages that the regular platforming stages that it does have are really cool, I think. World 8 is a really fun world to play. And coming up is also the famous hands section, which is kind of unique to Warpless and NE%. I'll talk about that in just a little bit, but I guess there's not much else to talk about. Okay, well, I guess in 8 Tank 1 here, we can mention some lag reduction. It is an auto-scroller, but there is some things to keep in mind in 8.1. Just all the bombs and cannonballs exploding and flamethrowers everywhere. You know, this Bowser's just arsenal. I don't really understand the, I guess, engineering layout of these tanks. It doesn't really make any sense, but
Doesn't
yeah,
have
there's
to
just so
make
much.
sense.
Yeah, it looks cool. I think the tanks would be firing at each other, but I guess
No, they're all just aimed slightly away from each other. It's really, really good marksmanship, I guess.
it's special wood that like allows specially made cannonballs to go through it. Yeah, we're trying to validate Mario game, but though this lag reduction is kind of a big deal in this stage because just exploding stuff everywhere causes quite a bit of lag. So in a couple of instances, Cujo will be grabbing some bombs and kind of bonking them into each other at the right times to kind of reduce all that lag. And in general, these aren't really that like very hard stages. Just the key to the auto-scrollers in World 8 is just stay to the front of the screen as much as you can. And that usually allows you to, you know, bypass any cannonballs pretty easily. You can see some of the lag reduction there, grabbing the bombs, bonking them into each other.
Now again, you cannot mentally check out in these auto-scrollers. It is very easy to get hit, and of course the lag reduction that everyone's been talking about. So keep that in mind when you're going through this stage. Just bad idea to suddenly not pay attention to what's going on, because you need this fire flower.
Yes, yes. There is an opportunity to get a couple of fire flowers later, but just all of these boom boom kills coming up, it just saves a significant amount of time. And also, that's the only instance where you're fighting a boomerang brother, at least in this category, as the sort of boss to some level. And if you're lucky, you can actually kill the boomerang brother without him throwing the boomerang, and that allows the treasure box to spawn earlier, because it won't spawn until all the stuff is off the screen. Unfortunately, the boomerang stayed there. I wouldn't know, like, I guess maybe a quarter of the time or so, I get no boomerang thrown there, so it's only like a second difference.
Also, I wouldn't do it for speedrunning strats, but you can actually get in this water and swim underneath and get to the end of the stage that way if you don't like what's going on top. But again, do not do it in the speedrun, it takes extra time. But if you want to get through this game casually, it's a good way to do it, is to swim underneath.
I kind of have fun playing this auto-scroller. There's a lot of just fun things to do in it. You can just play around with all the wrench guys, and there's a kind of a speedrunner's signature kind of screw around here near the end as you just kind of squeeze under the, yeah, oh yeah, do it. you gotta crouch underneath that just for some reason. Everybody does.
All right, here we go. Place your bets. What do you think, Duckfist? Give me a number, 1 through 3.
I'm gonna go with
Zero.
my favorite emote, one hand.
One hand. One hand. How about, well, we'll let Cujo decide in his mind. I'm gonna go with 2. I'll be a little more. Oh, nice. That's not terrible.
Okay, one hand.
Duckfist is-
Congratulations.
You win the prize,
Good
Duckfist.
call, Duckfist.
Oh yeah, I always trust in the one hand.
I thought he had it for a second. I thought he had 0 hands, and
No.
Okay, Sky, you're like 2 seconds ahead of me. Gotta refresh this.
aw,
Spoilers.
aw, sorry. All right,
Here's
this
the victorious fast airship. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was
it's
gonna
fast.
say the same thing.
Not much else to say, but yeah, you do want to be really careful in this stage because firepower is really critical to do 8-1 and 8-2 quickly. There's a backup in 8-3, but 8-1 and 8-2 can be made significantly different as Fire Mario. And this is just kind of tricky, just being able to shoot these red wrench guys as you're jumping up to each of the platforms. Once you've played this enough times, though, it's no problem. There's lots of D-pad wiggling.
And again, important to hang on to that fire flower because there's yet another boom boom at the end of this stage.
Oh yeah, 3 boom booms in World 8, so lots of benefit from firepower. 4. It's 4?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's 4.
Wow. And yeah, the big thing is for Bowser. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but here's World 8 stages. Good luck.
Oh, no. Sorry, spoiler.
Oh yeah. Yeah, going for the firepower Paracupa kill there is super, super tight to kill that guy and maintain P speed. And like, if you get hit like that, or if you jump against the block, it's really hard to react in time. You pretty much just fall in there and die.
He'll be able to get his fire flower back in the fort though. No big deal on that front.
Yeah, definitely. There's still an opportunity to recover.
Maybe that's why he didn't go hammer suit. Who knows? Had the foresight.
Okay, the angry son is back in this one. He's kind of a nightmare and kind of just hits you based. He's kind of RNG based on when he ducks and dives and dodges in this final jump here. Whoa! Grazed the sun. Wow.
Where's the hitbox on that sun, Dogfist? That was insane.
I don't know. I
I
honestly
think
don't
I
know.
was only like 1 or 2 pixels away.
It's like right in the center somewhere. Maybe it's one. It's all over the place. So here's the last fire flower in the game, basically.
He could
And,
get one right at the end if he loses it, but it would waste time, obviously, so he grabs the proper one in the beginning.
Okay, nice fort. Okay, so yeah, it's really important that after hitting the P switch that you speed run the rest of the stage as best you can because you only have just enough time to enter that final door before the P switch deactivates. And if that was the case, then you'd have to hit another P switch and you'd have to wait for it to expire before the conveyor belt starts to move again. So getting that in one cycle is really important for speed. And again, there's no more fire powers, realistically. So from here on out, Cujo wants to stay Fire Mario. And the big deal about that is you can kill Bowser with Fire Mario. It takes 25 fireballs to defeat him.
35
And-
actually.
Sorry?
35 actually.
It's 35?
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't know that. I thought it was 25. Damn. Okay.
Pretty sure it's 35. I don't know. I mean, I don't actually
Excellent.
count them as I'm killing them.
I never counted either. I was just always, people told me 25.
I've always heard 35.
Also, if you want an easy way to do this stage, always hug the right-hand side of the screen, except in this brief moment here where he's waiting for the bombs to clear out. But a good tip to remember is to always stick to the right-hand side of the screen. It makes it easier.
You can actually stick to the right side of the screen the entire time. It's just that if you do that, you have to be careful to kill the bombs like perfectly as you do it. You can't just walk all the way through.
All right, So Bowser Castle coming up. Good luck. This stage has so many different opportunities of strategy in it. Starting off with this like little clip at the beginning. No clips. There's actually
sorry, I
clips
don't do that
all through the stage. Okay, that's fine. There's just crazy. There's so many crazy options in this stage. There is the freebie clip that everybody goes for here. This one-up mushroom.
Wow.
And maintaining P-speed in this last section is really tough to do. And see if Cujo's managed to get this.
Wait, it took Cujo more times to do that clip than the one in 7-1.
Yeah, usually I get that one first try. I don't know what happened there.
Alright, here we go. Nice hitbox.
That was a little closer than I thought. I was
Actually
gonna-
counted that time. I think it was around 30. Are we both wrong? I don't know. Anyways, that was a sick run, man. Well done.
Very
Fire
nice,
kill
Cujo.
on Bowser in a marathon.
time.
Nice job.
What do
Damn.
we got?
What a marathon run.
It was a 54. What, 10? Oh, 3.
I got a 54:03 on my timer.
Yeah, we got that too on that Best NES channel.
Anyways, that's Super Mario Bros. 3, any percent warpless. Before we move on to the next run, I'd just like to give a shout out to Classic Gamer 88. He was originally supposed to run this game in this marathon. Unfortunately, he had to drop out due to personal reasons. But you guys should go over to his channel and follow him anyways. He's a really talented up-and-coming SMB3 runner, and he deserves your support.
Also, don't forget to follow the runner, Cujo. Very good, does a ton of SMB3. So, be sure to do that.
And stick around